Hi everyone, it's Justine. I know so many people who say they can't find anything nice in vintage stores. And I don't get it because I find great things. Literally, some of my best wardrobe items come from vintage stores. So today's video is to help you start or become a pro if you're already a thrifter. I wrote my tricks down and I ended up with 14. What to do before you go, how to scan the racks like a professional, how to spot quality, the red flags you should stay away from, and how to make the final call on whether or not to buy a piece. It's a comprehensive guide. Just before we start, I've noticed that 49% of you watch my videos without being subscribed. If you've been watching and enjoying my work, please take a second to subscribe to the channel. It helps more people discover it. Thank you. And now let's get into the video. Starting with general rules. Go often. Stock changes really quickly in the good stores. Once a week is not too much if you have a good vintage shop near your house. The good pieces that are here today will be gone by the weekend, don't wait. Go early on weekdays. You'll have less competition, the racks are less picked over. Vintage stores typically get deliveries in the morning on weekdays. Personally, I find that Tuesday mornings are great because most stores are closed on Monday, so Tuesday morning is the start of the week. You get all the fresh arrivals. Build relationships with the shop owners. This one takes time, but it really pays off. Regular customers get called when something good comes in. They get pieces held especially for them. So be friendly, be consistent, show genuine interest in the shop. It's a real thing. I've benefited from it. You have to consider that owners of vintage stores often run the stores themselves and they also curate what will hang in the store. It's really human curation. So if you appreciate that, shop owners will remember you. It's a human relationship, which you'll rarely see in new shops because the salespeople there are employees and they don't decide what gets sold at all. Vintage store owners do. Now, how to scan the racks and find the gems. Scan by fabric, not color. Most people move through a rack by looking at the colors and prints, and more often than not, the racks are packed, everything is tight, and you don't really see the designs. So train yourself to move your hand along as you look. Natural fibers, cotton, wool, silk, linen, have a weight and a texture that cheap synthetic fibers don't have. So once your hands know the difference, they'll tell you which pieces to pay attention to. Look in unexpected sections. Sometimes the great finds are not where you're looking. Think of the menswear section for belts, scarves, oversized blazers as well. Look in homewares for fabric pieces or interesting texture. Look at accessories, because sometimes they're all together like in one box, jammed, not well displayed, but really worth a little search there. Read the label. Older pieces, so actual real vintage pieces made in Italy or in France, are often a strong quality signal, and it will typically be written on the neck label. Dead stock tags means that the pieces were never worn. They still have the original label and they're brand new. Yes, you'll find things like that too in thrift stores. If the label has been removed entirely, that can happen. It's not necessarily a red flag, but do look more closely at the construction and the materials. Inspect the stitching. A good piece has tight, even, consistent stitches. Flip the garment inside out. You want a clean finish inside. And seams neatly folded. That's a sign of a well-made garment overall. If you see loose threads, uneven stitching, seams that pucker when you pull lightly, those are the first things that are going to unravel after a few washes. We underestimate the importance of good stitching, everyone. Check for lining. For tailored pieces, a fully lined garment almost always means higher craftsmanship. Lining takes extra fabric, extra time, extra care. Budget production typically skip it. So if you're holding a blazer or fitted skirts and it has a full lining in good condition, that's great. Also make sure that the lining is bigger than the upper fabric. I repeat, the lining needs to have more fabric than the upper layer. That allows you to get into the skirt without the lining always riding up. In other words, if the lining isn't bigger, you cannot move comfortably in a garment. Next tip, look at the hardware. Metal zippers are better than plastic. They're also a classic vintage quality marker. For shoulder pads, they should be sewn in, not glued. Glued pads detach over time and they move, especially if they're sandwiched in between two layers of fabric. Sewn in pads indicate proper tailoring. Now, we want to check the condition of a secondhand piece. Check for stains in hidden places like underarms, neckline, inside the lining at the back. Hold the garment up to the light and check that there isn't any discoloration, because if the piece is clean but there's a stain, it logically means the stain will be there even when you wash it. It can be deodorant stains, food stains, even small, makeup stains. Foundation is terrible for that, especially on the neckline. Check for moth holes. Run your fingers slowly over any knit or wool piece, or again, look at it against daylight. Yeah. One small hole usually means there are more nearby, because moths eat in clusters. Check the full lines, especially under the collars, at the elbow level. Those are the areas most often missed when new pieces come to a store. If a garment has one moth hole, it's an immediate no for me, because there might be moths around, more of them, or cocoons that you don't even see, and I don't want to import them into my house. Too risky. Check the fastenings. Test every zip, every button, every hook. Is the zip smooth? Is it rusted at the teeth? Do the buttons feel secure? Do they wobble? Replacing a broken zip or resetting buttons costs more than you'd expect. I'm not saying it's impossible, but do factor that in, that cost, before you buy. Then we need to talk about fit. Vintage sizing is not modern sizing. This is the most common mistake people make. A size 38 from the 70s is not the same as a size 38 today. Sizing standards have changed completely multiple times, and they're not consistent from one country to the next or one brand to the next. And yet, vintage stores like to sort garments by size. So it's worth looking not only in the rack of your official size, but also adjacent racks, size up and size down. Always try garments on in the store. Never trust the size on the tag, especially when you're thrifting across several decades. Never buy maybe pieces. If it doesn't fit now, don't buy it thinking it will maybe fit later. So I know it's tricky, because sometimes you find a great piece that's almost the right size and it's the only one they have and you love it. But no, because the maybe parts of your wardrobe is where your money goes to die. If it fits, if it works, if you love it today, yes. If not, leave it for someone else. That's the game when you're shopping vintage. That's it. Now, I want to add a bonus note on tailoring. How to know whether a garment is worth getting tailored. Before you buy a secondhand piece that needs some work, run it through 4 questions. Fabric quality. Is it natural, high quality? Because I'm not going to invest in having a cheap piece tailored. I feel like the fabric has to be worth it first. Then structure. Is the garment well built to begin with? Like well-constructed jackets, trousers, coats. Yes, that's worth adjusting. Flimsy blouses, poorly made skirts, probably not. Yeah, a skirt that has a big side seam can be made half a size bigger by using some of the seam allowance. But when it's too tight around the bum, for instance, and the whole back is one pattern piece with no darts, you have nothing to work with. There is no seam to gain half an inch from. Next point, simplicity. Basic alterations only. Shortening a hem is easy. Taking the waist in or out, okay. But changing the shape or the placement of the armholes, full resizing, recutting the necklines, even seamstresses don't like it. It's a hassle. It's not really easy. And the last one is timelessness. You're loving a piece right now, but would you still love it in 3 years? This might be the most important question. If your garment passes on all 4 questions, go ahead, buy it, have it altered. Otherwise, you pass. To go deeper, I put together a free resource to help you shop. It's my quality checklist, and you can download it at justineleconte.com/quality. It's all summarized in one PDF. Print it out or keep it on your phone and get in a habit of checking these things when you shop. Vintage or new, it works for either of these. And now I'd love to hear from you. Do you have extra tips for vintage shopping? Share them with me and everyone else reading them in the comments below. If you found this video useful, give it a thumbs up. Thank you so much for your support. And I'll see you soon in the next one. Take care. Bye.